Hello, namaste, and a very warm welcome to all the viewers once again. Dear viewers, we have one more question that has been asked from us. Why Hindus didn't build institutions in the West, and why that mistake is catching up. Lately, there's a trend on social media where Hindus are casually labeled the new Jews. That comparison is flattering, isn't it? And completely wrong. If Hindus were the new Jews, one thing would already be clear: that success in Western society does not protect you from judgment inside it. Jewish communities learned that early. Hindu communities didn't. And that delay explains almost everything. Hindus and Jews share a lot. Ancient civilizations, long memories, strong family structures, heavy emphasis on education. Both entered the West as minorities. But when pressure appeared, their preparation levels were completely different. Jewish communities built institutions. Hindu communities built temples and stopped there. Temples protect ritual. Institutions protect continuity, reputation, and power. Confusing the two has had consequences. Jewish entry into Western society came with warning signs. Quotas at universities, closed neighborhoods, suspicion that never fully disappeared. Success didn't dissolve that suspicion. Often, it made it worse. So Jewish communities did not wait for reassurance. They built schools because access could close. They built legal defense because neutrality could fail. They built advocacy because narratives turn hostile fast. Institutions were not aspirational. They were non-negotiable. Hindu migration arrived at a very different moment. After civil rights reforms, after legal exclusion became unacceptable. During a cultural phase that welcomed Eastern spirituality. Immigration rewarded skills, jobs were open, universities admitted Hindu students easily. The message was simple: succeed and you'll be fine. For a long time, that message held. And because it held, Hindus delayed building institutions beyond temples. Here is the core error. Acceptance felt permanent, but it was only conditional. Jewish communities learned early that acceptance can reverse. Hindu communities assumed it would deepen. That assumption shaped philanthropy, leadership, and priorities. And now it is being exposed. Hindu communities preserved ritual very well. Festivals thrived, temples expanded, cultural pride remained strong, but ritual alone does not defend a community. Jewish communities paired ritual with literacy, leadership, and institutional depth. Hindu communities assumed culture would sustain itself. It does not. Without infrastructure, ritual becomes symbolic. Without education, pride becomes fragile. Minorities are never judged only as individuals. Jewish communities learned that the hard way. Visibility increased scrutiny. Success invited suspicion. So institutions existed before crisis. Hindus entered a period where scrutiny was low. That period is ending. Now, entire Hindu communities can be judged through political labels they did not choose. And responses are often slow, fragmented, and defensive. Not because people don't care, because institutions were postponed. Jewish institutions are professional. They survive leadership change. They absorb disagreement. They retain memory. Hindu institutions rely heavily on volunteers. A few committed individuals, limited funding, high burnout. When those individuals step back, the institution weakens. That is not dedication failure, it is structural failure. As Hindus succeeded, giving followed success. Philanthropy tracked status and image. Elite universities, prestigious causes, public recognition. This was not selfish, it felt like belonging. But Hindu institutions outside temple states then. Education, research, advocacy, leadership training, these brought little prestige. So they lagged. The issue was never generosity, it was seriousness. Hindu youth grew up proud, but pride without preparation is fragile. They learned festivals and symbols, not history, public language, or institutional navigation. When controversy hits, they face it alone. Jewish youth were trained early to explain, defend, and lead. That gap is now obvious. Jewish communities disagree intensely, but they agree on certain non-negotiables. Education, advocacy, collective security. Hindu communities lack that shared urgency. India feels secure, Hinduism feels large. So diaspora vulnerability is underestimated. That makes institution building unstable. This is not about copying Jewish institutions, it is about recognizing the lesson. Institutions built early reduce future cost. Institutions built late are built under pressure. Hindu communities are now entering that pressure phase. The question is not intelligence or resources. It is whether discomfort turns into structure before crisis removes the choice. Diasporas don't survive on achievement, they survive on institutions. Thank you so much. Namaste.